Does anyone remember the Spongebob episode, The Sponge Who Could Fly, that aired in March 2003? It was dubbed The Lost Episode by its commercials, based on the episode's storyline where Patchy the Pirate uses a treasure map to find the Spongebob episode that he lost the night before the episode was aired. I was sick with a norovirus. I was vomiting almost every 5 minutes and feeling too ill to fall asleep, so I stayed up and watched TV. Around 2:30 AM my stomach started to settle, so I planned to turn off the TV and try to fall asleep. But as I was reaching for my remote, the opening for the Spongebob TV show started playing. Spongebob was my favourite show of all time, so I couldn't miss out on watching it. Although it was kind of strange that they were showing Spongebob in the middle of the night, but I didn't think much of it. When the episode played, I noticed that the contrast of the animation was slightly darker than usual, and the episode's theme song sounded a bit harsh and raspy. This made me feel uncomfortable, but I also tried brushing that off. The title card read Lost Episode, so I figured that it was a mishap and Nickelodeon was accidentally airing The Sponge Who Could Fly. When the episode started playing, it immediately looked out of the ordinary. It started off with SpongeBob sitting on his bed, slouched and looking downward with a somber look on his face. This was definitely not like himself. SpongeBob was so optimistic all the time. Why would he be acting like this? After about 10 seconds of seeing SpongeBob like this, he let out a big sigh and then looked over to his bedside barrel, and the screen zoomed in on a pill bottle that was sitting beside his clock. Once the screen zoomed in close enough to read the text on the bottle, it showed it was a Sucide bottle. The episode then panned to a scene with a much brighter contrast, showing SpongeBob taking one of the pills and running off smiling and laughing. The fact that SpongeBob had to take pills. SpongeBob taking his pills and running and smiling. SpongeBob had to take his pills to be well himself. Made me feel uneasy, especially because mental disorders and antidepressants are more mature themes that obviously shouldn't be placed in a kids' cartoon. Should we noted that this was seen on the show intended for kids. The screen then flipped back to the original scene of SpongeBob looking distressed, while at the same time changing the contrast back to the darker one. The screen froze on SpongeBob for a few seconds, then flickered to a new scene. This scene showed SpongeBob at his desk, the same one that was in the episode Procrastination, with his Prozac bottle, a piece of paper and a pencil. In the scene, instead of saying that one contrast, the screen kept on flickering from light to dark. SpongeBob gripped the pencil in his hand, and a tear rolled down his face. That bothered me the most was that the tear didn't look like the usual blue cartoon-style tears in SpongeBob usually cry out. The tear looked completely realistic, as there had been a drop of water falling over my TV from his eye. SpongeBob wiped the tear from his face with his sleeve and began to write paper, reading out loud that he was writing. "I can't take it anymore," he said. As soon as I got to that sentence out, a faint noise started playing in the background. It sounded like a child crying. The noise continued as SpongeBob continued writing. "My life has been horrible and hasn't gotten better. My best friend Patrick is one. He's my only best friend because he doesn't know any better. My neighbour Squidward hates my guts. He'd probably hack me if I wasn't around anymore." SpongeBob stopped writing and talking, and kept weeping loudly. The colour flickering started getting faster, and the cries in the background started getting louder, and it sounded more like children were beginning to cry. It could have just been in my imagination, but I remember hearing one of the children very faintly yell, "He's gonna do it!" The children's cries got louder, and the colours kept flickering, and SpongeBob keeps writing. "The only job I can get is being a fry cook at the Krusty Krab. My boss, Mr. Krabs, refusing to give me an actual paycheck, so he basically uses me to get more customers. I'm in my 20s and I still don't have a driver's license. Sandy is the only girl I've ever had in my life, and she's just a friend. She's never had any interest in me. I'm pretty sure she's only my friend because she feels sorry for me. I'm sorry that if it's hurting anymore to do all this. I just can't live like this anymore." The screen froze for a few seconds. It then continued with SpongeBob writing his final sentence. The contrast stayed dark, instead of flickering from light to dark, and the children stopped crying. It was absolute silence except for SpongeBob saying goodbye. The cries came back. SpongeBob quickly stood up, twisted off the lid of the Prozac bottle, dipped his head back, and let all the pills in the bottle fill his mouth, and swallowed them all. The screen twitched, and the animation was dark but still visible. SpongeBob clutched his chest and vomited realistic, pale greenish orange stomach bile. It was clear that his body was trying to cleanse himself from the overdose, but it was no use. SpongeBob collapsed onto the floor and lay there motionless until the screen turned to static. Needless to say, I was scared out of my mind, and sleep was out of the question. Recently, I've been looking for this episode all over the internet, but not even one website seems to have it, so if you recognize this episode, please let me know.